Today on SVG News, we're taking a look at two games in their own personal brands of trouble. While one suffering from a game-shattering, world-destroying bug, the other might never have existed at all.
Is this story so strange that it must be true? Not this time. It's fiction.
Every game has its bumps along the road, especially those in early access. Even massive titles like World of Warcraft have run into problems that made the game nearly impossible to play. Valheim, the hit survival game that seemingly appeared from thin air, has run into its own crippling bug. Players' worlds are being completely erased.
Once the glitch does its work, the whole world will be deleted!
Richard Svensson, the CEO of Valheim developer Iron Gate, told players on Twitter to back up their characters and their worlds because the quote, evil world destroyer bug is still roaming free. The bug, which was reported on Reddit by Mikester999 on February 11th, 2021, has been giving the developers the runaround, as they haven't been able to reproduce the issue a single time. In another tweet, Svensson mentioned that exiting the game by pressing Alt and F4 may cause the bug to happen more frequently, but the devs still hadn't been able to force the bug to take out their own games. He also gave players instructions on where they could find their backups. There are a lot of player theories about what could be causing this bug, but its elusive nature has prevented any definitive answers. Twitter user Dalajintu asserted that dedicated server providers are renaming files and could be at fault.
I don't know what he said, but it was the way he told it.
Another Twitter user had information on a dedicated server resetting, and Svensson replied trying to get a copy of that world file specifically. On the original Reddit thread, user Regevin1992 offered a possible fix for the problem that included opening forwarding ports. Despite the bug, Valheim has enjoyed massive success, even overtaking huge games like GTA 5 in number of concurrent players on Steam. The developers previously mentioned that they weren't prepared to see these kinds of numbers after the game's early access launch. While Iron Gate searches for an answer, you can still sample Valheim, though certainly with a bit more risk than is typically expected, even for a survival game. On the evening of February 25th, Sony aired its latest State of Play broadcast, and fans tuned in to get the scoop on upcoming PlayStation 5 games. While there were some exciting updates, including a new gameplay trailer for Deathloop and a better look at Knockout City's different modes, there were a few letdowns. One of the biggest upsets of the night was the lack of information regarding FromSoftware's long-gestating Elden Ring. The resulting disappointment actually led to Elden Ring trending on Twitter. First announced during the 2019 E3 conference, Elden Ring is a fantasy action game from the makers of Dark Souls and Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin. Unfortunately, fans have not received much in the way of updates since that initial tease. At this point, fans aren't even sure that the game will be released in 2021. A recent update to Elden Ring's website seemed to hint that news was forthcoming, and a Sony State of Play seemed like a natural place for a new announcement. However, that hope proved to be fruitless, and gamers are less than enthused.
I am so cheesed off!
On Twitter, fans have sounded off with their disappointment. One person tweeted a photo of a clown at a computer, sarcastically remarking how excited they were for Elden Ring footage during the broadcast. Another frustrated gamer posted a gif of Devil May Cry's Nero pounding his fists on the floor as a reaction to the State of Play. Even a few gaming news sites got in on the action, with GameSpot tweeting an image that showed one of the characters from Elden Ring's E3 trailer hiding on the surface of Mars. At this point, some people are starting to believe that the game will never actually be released. One user tweeted, quote, "Elden Ring never coming out. I wasn't even expecting any news for it." Several Twitter users echoed similar sentiments, with one person writing, quote, "Elden Ring is a hoax. We imagined it together."
These memories that you people have been sharing are a shared psychosis.
Back in November, Xbox head Phil Spencer mentioned that he'd been able to play, quote, "quite a bit of Elden Ring," and added that he was impressed by the title.
How much of Elden Ring have you seen? Can you tell me anything?
I've seen actually quite a bit. I've played quite a bit.
Although Spencer's comments would suggest that development on the title is progressing smoothly, the reactions to the February 25th State of Play have made fans' feelings pretty clear. Many of the people who have been waiting for Elden Ring are getting impatient, while others have given up on the title entirely.